Bobavakian, Revolution. Number 26, Crime and Anti-Immigrant Racism. Have you noticed that when a so-called illegal immigrant commits a violent crime or is just accused of committing a violent crime, the racist, woman-hating, anti-LGBT, anti-scientific fascists in the Republican Party go into a whole frenzy about this? They try to make people believe that immigrants, particularly immigrants from what Trump has called shithole, non-European countries, are all a bunch of rapists, drug dealers, and murderers. This is part of the whole racist hysteria these fascists are working to whip up about immigrants. The fact is that the overwhelming majority of immigrants, documented and undocumented, do not commit violent crimes or other serious crimes. The great majority of immigrants are just trying to get by and provide for their families. And here is another fact. Every year, large numbers of violent crimes are committed by white people who were born in this country. Yet you don't hear these fascists demanding that all white people should be locked up or kicked out of the country. Why do you think that is? Why are these fascists so aggressively spreading racist, anti-immigrant hysteria? And why should any decent person get played by this? Who and what is really responsible for the terrible situation that people are facing today? Hint, it is not immigrants. It is the system, the ruling class of this system, and the politicians of both ruling class political parties, Democrat as well as Republican. While not using the same blatantly racist language as the fascists, the Democratic Party president, Genocide Joe Biden, has deported and expelled more immigrants than any other president and has vowed to shut down the border and essentially eliminate asylum for people coming from countries where they are persecuted. In previous messages, I have spoken to some, and just some, of the monstrous crimes committed by this country throughout its history. And in number 14, I have pointed to this crucial reality behind the fact that so many immigrants are seeking to get into the U.S. and what happens to far too many. It is the capitalist imperialist system, and the U.S. most of all, that has ruined the lives of masses of people in Mexico, Central America, and many other places, forcing huge numbers to migrate in already desperate conditions, and then putting up dangerous barriers that can kill them for the crime of trying to enter the very country, the good old USA, which has driven them to desperation in the first place. Looking at the reality of all this, and how it is part of the continuing atrocities that have been committed by the rulers of this country, from the beginning and right down to today, how can any decent person go along with this racist, anti-immigrant hysteria? How can any decent person support either the Republicans or the Democrats when both are instruments of the monstrous system of capitalism, imperialism? How can any decent person defend this system and deny that we need a revolution to overthrow this system?